Hey y'all, welcome back. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. We had a phenomenal Christmas and we are still a little bit in recovery mode from all of the food and excitement from the day. But we are trying to get back on track here at BerkeleyFarm. We took a couple days off. I took a couple days off Instagram and all the stuff to try to focus on Christmas and family and all that. But we are trying to get back on track now. And really, after Christmas is when we really start thinking about full-on seed starting season. So really now that we're like in this market garden mindset and we're trying to have a garden year-round, especially now that we have the tunnel. Seed starting season is a year-round process for us at this point, but for a lot of summer gardeners, seed starting season is coming up. Okay, so here in Zone 7B, for the summer garden, we typically will start seeds around February. So if you really haven't started thinking about what you're going to be growing in your summer garden and ordering seeds and all the supplies and all those things, it's kind of time to start thinking about that now. February is still going to be a busy month for us for seed starting because we're going to be starting all of our tomatoes and peppers and things for our market garden, but we're also going to be doing a lot of extra for the plant sale that we do in a neighboring town. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about how we're going to start our seeds, and that's soil blocking. I've not been soil blocking for very long, and in fact, I got my very first soil blocker on my birthday on November the 24th. So it's just after Christmas, and I've just been using the soil blocker for just over a month now, and I'm already sold on soil blocking versus using these plug trays back here. And before I go any further, I think it is safe to say that I'm not a professional on soil blocking. I don't consider myself a professional. I just want to tell you about my experience, tell you the pros and cons that I'm noticing, tell you a little bit about some of the research that I've done, and just put the information out there and let you decide for yourself. You may be wondering what the heck a soil block is, and it is what it sounds like. It's literally just a block of soil, and that's what you plant your seed into. It's not a new process. It's been around for a long time. So I'm going to show you my soil blocker. I'm actually, and everything that I talk about today, I'm going to try to link. We did just become Amazon affiliates, I think is what you call it, or I don't know. Everything that I post down below is going to be an affiliate link. So any qualifying purchase will benefit our farm at no additional cost to you. So I just wanted to go ahead and put that out there because I think I'm supposed to say that. So there's lots of different places that you can buy soil blockers. I know Johnny's has quite a few options. This one came from Amazon. I'll link it down below, like I said. It's the one my boys got me for my birthday that has sold me on soil blocking. It is a 5-cell soil blocker. Each cell is 1 3/8 inch. This is a perfect handy little tool. I'm already looking at buying a larger one. The one I'm looking at is a stand-up soil blocker. I'll link it as well. I'm going to get it on Amazon, and I think it has, it's either got 30, I think it's got 35 cells, and they're 1-inch cells. But it'll just make my time more efficient, especially for the amount of seeds I'm going to be starting coming this February. But this little tool here is perfect, especially if you're like a home gardener. But I would say if you're looking at starting seeds on a larger scale, you probably want to look at one of the stand-up soil blockers. And again, I will link that one down below. So the number one advantage of soil blocking that I've noticed so far is transplant shock, or the elimination, I should say, of transplant shock. The very first tray of lettuces that I transplanted out into the tunnel that I used my soil blocker for had, I would say, 0 transplant shock. And I really think that the improvement in the transplant shock comes from the elimination of root disturbance. So with things like plug trays, you typically get a lot of root-bound seedlings. But what happens when you soil block is the roots grow, and then when they reach the outside of the block, the roots are air pruned. And basically all that means is the roots reach the air, they dry out, and they die. But then what will happen is once you put that seedling in the ground, then that root continues to grow and there's really no root disturbance at all. Versus using a plug tray, you know, you're trying to get the seedling out, you're putting a tool in there to scoop the seedling out, or you're popping it out from below, and you're really just disturbing all of those roots, and a lot of times they're already root bound anyways. So another advantage of soil blocking is the amount of equipment or supplies that you no longer need. So I showed you earlier, I had to change my view because the sun kind of opened up there. The clouds opened up for the sun. But you see all of these trays back here. These are not even all of my trays. You're actually sitting on a stack of trays right now. But using the soil blocking method eliminates all of this plastic. And you just have this, or you have, a set of a few soil blockers or whatever. So you're eliminating a lot of plastic. Right now, for the most part, our storage is our garage, which is not ideal, but it's just what we have for now. So just to be able to eliminate, even if it's just these trays right here, that's huge for us. So using soil blockers, you're gonna eliminate a lot of trays, a lot of plastic. And it's just like you're just consolidating a little bit, which is nice. So another pro of the soil blocker is the amount of time that I spend actually transplanting out in the tunnel has been cut, I would say cut in half, probably more though. The amount of time, but when I was transplanting from plug trays, the amount of time I was taking to actually get the plant out of the plug tray itself, which was such a pain. It was time consuming. And then we were going through all the transplant shock versus having your soil blocks. And I'll show you, I'll make a bunch of soil blocks and I'll show you what it looks like. And just being able to pick those individual blocks up and plant them in the ground is huge. It's a game changer. Some people may say that actually making the soil block makes up for that amount of time saved, and it really doesn't save you much time. However, I don't think making soil blocks takes that much time. It takes just as much time to fill your plug trays up with soil, in my opinion. So I think it is a huge time saver, especially when it comes time to transplant. So let's make some soil blocks. Okay, y'all, I get asked a lot. This is probably like the number one question I get asked, but what soil or seed starting mix do you use? And this is what I've been using for about a year now. I can get it locally at a local nursery in town. It's the most cost-effective option that I found. It's an organic option. And it just works well. So this is what I buy. I can get it in these big bulk bags. It's upside down, I realize, because I opened the bag upside down. But it is SunGro Professional Growing Mix. And if I can find it online, I'll link it for you as well. But it is, you can see it says large bell, 3.8 cubic feet. It goes quite a long ways. So yeah, that's what I use. I would recommend it. Okay, so for starting soil blocks, all you need is your seed starting mix. Your soil blocker, obviously. You're going to want, depending on how many soil blocks you're starting, you're going to want a fairly large tub. This is just, it's a little dirty, y'all. This actually was it's a livestock feeding bowl bucket thing we were using for the pigs, but they were just like dumping the food out, so we stopped using it, and I started using it to start my soil blocks. So this came from Tractor Supply. And then you're going to want a tray of some sort to actually put the soil blocks in. I'm going to be using these, yes?
Can I go inside?
Sure.
Thanks.
I'm going to be using one of these trays. This is a 1020 tray from, I think this one's from Greenhouse Megastore. I would recommend investing in some sturdy, heavy-duty trays. These tend to crack really easily. 1020 trays just in general tend to crack, like this one's already cracked. Tend to crack really easily. I know Bootstrap Farmer has really, really good ones. They have probably some of the best around. I've heard Haas Tools has some really good ones too. So once these peter out on me, I will probably invest in Bootstrap Farmers or Haas Tools trays, just because you're going to get your money's worth out of them. Let's get started. Okay, so I put my seed starting mix in the bucket. You can see it's nice and light and fluffy. And all we're going to do is add some water to get it to kind of a sticky consistency. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so I went down the seed starting mix. And you can see there, I mean, it's pretty moist. But I'm not able to wring out just a whole lot of water out of it. It's just enough to keep it sticky and keep it in that soil block. Okay, so once you have your soil moist enough, all you gotta do is take your soil blocker and just press and sort of turn the soil blocker into the soil. And you gotta be kind of firm and a little aggressive with it to get it packed in there nice and tight. Once you feel like you have it in there nice and tight and level, you take it and we're gonna move this out of the way. You just press it into your tray. You can see it makes 5 uniform little soil blocks. The little prong in each block puts a nice little hole in there for your seeds. And then what I do is just go through and fill up this whole tray. So we'll do that. Okay, so I've got 50 soil blocks here. It took me, I don't know, roughly 2 minutes to do. Technically, I probably could have gotten another row, so I probably could have gotten 55 in here, but 50 will do me just fine for what I'm trying to do. And then we'll go through and we'll just seed this. All of my soil blocks are now seeded, and there's different methods you can do to cover the seed over. You could take just some of your soil mix or seed starting mix and just sprinkle it over the top. I've heard people using vermiculite and using that to cover the top. I'm simply just going to take my fingers and pinch the top of each one. I'll show you. I feel like that way I'm not wasting any more of my seed starting mix, and it's just quicker. You see my little hole there? All I'm gonna do, y'all, it's as simple as that, is just pinch it closed. Then I'm gonna take this tray of soil blocks. I'm actually gonna take them inside and put them under a grow light so they don't get all leggy on me. And then here pretty soon they should be ready to go out in the tunnel. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you've used soil blocks before and you have any tips or tricks, or you have any more pros to using them or even cons to using them, if you don't like using them, comment below, let us know. We'd love to hear from you, and hopefully if you were kind of on the fence about soil blocking, hopefully this will give you that nudge to give it a try. I think you'll really like it. And if you do give it a try, let me know, and let me know how it goes. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.